Good day, everyone. We are the group of Aguinaldo Marisol L., Apuya KCA, De La Cruz Jovelyn B., and Hipol Diana Rose L. We are going to present our research proposal with the title of The Impact of COVID-19 Pandemic on the Academic Performance and Computer Laboratory of IT Students. Chapter 1, Introduction. Coronavirus disease 2019 is firstly identified in Wuhan City, Hubei Province, China in December 2019 as a pneumonia of unknown origin. Later, the International Committee on Taxonomy of Viruses identifies the causative agent of COVID-19 as a novel coronavirus, SARS acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2. COVID-19 outbreak spreads rapidly not only in China but also worldwide. Therefore, the World Health Organization has announced it as pandemic on March 12, 2020. The total number of confirmed cases and mortalities are 23,491,520 and 809,970, respectively in 216 countries as of August 25, 2020. Several government measures have been taken to counteract the risk of disease spreading. These measures include travel restrictions, mandatory quarantines for travelers, social distancing, bans on public gatherings, schools and universities closure, business closures, self-isolation, asking people to work at home, curfews, and lockdown. Authorities in several countries worldwide have declared either lockdown or curfew as a measure to break the fast spread of virus infection. These measures have a negative worldwide effect on the business, education, health, and tourism. COVID-19 pandemic has affected all levels of the education system. Education institutions around the world have either temporarily closed or implemented localized closures affecting about billions of students' population worldwide. Many universities around the world either postponed or canceled all campus activities to minimize gatherings and hence decrease the transmissions of virus. Statement of the problem. This study aims to determine the impact of COVID-19 on the academic performance and computer laboratory of IT students. Number 1, the problems of COVID-19 to IT students. Specifically, it will aims to loss of interest, unstable or poor connection of internet to students live in provincial and rural areas, the speed and cost of the internet. Some students, there is no learning devices to be used, such as laptops, tablets, and smartphones devices to access the internet and view the online materials due to pandemic and will not be able to purchase a learning device to be used. Number 2, the effectiveness of COVID-19 to IT students. More convenient and flexible than ordinary classes, students have more time to learn and do other activities, save times, and provides an opportunity for self-study.
Significance of the problem. This study analyzed the effect or impact of COVID-19 on the autonomous academic performance and computer laboratory of IT students. A significant positive effect of the COVID-19 confinement on IT students' academic performance. This effect is also significant in activities that did not change their format when performed after the confinement. We find that this effect is significant both in subjects that increase the number of assessment activities and subjects that did not change the IT student workload. Additionally, an analysis of IT student learning strategies before confinement shows that students did not study on a continuous basis. Based on this result, we conclude that COVID-19 confinement changed IT student learning strategies to a more continuous habit, improving their efficiency. For this reason, better scores in IT student assessment are expected due to COVID-19 confinement that can be explained by an improvement in their learning or academic performance. Scope and delimitation. This study only focuses on the impact of COVID-19 on the academic performance and computer laboratory of IT student for Isabela State University, Kawayan campus only. It does not cover other campuses. Definition of terms. To aid the readers for better understanding on the context of the proposed study, the following words are defined. Researcher, a person who carries out academic or scientific research. Student, a person who is studying at a school or college. Teacher, a person who teaches especially in a school. Computers, an electronic device for storing and processing data, typically in binary form according to instruction given to it in an variable program. Academic performance, it is the extent to which a student, teacher, or institution has attained their short or long-term educational goals.
Chapter 2 RRL Talidung and Tukero 2020 COVID-19 crisis pandemic has made an impact on the context of Philippine education. Classes were postponed due to lockdown. The majority of schools, colleges, and universities also face current challenges with virtual learning. UNESCO 2020 Most countries in the world has temporarily closed educational institutions to contain the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic and reduce infections. This closure has affected more than 1.2 billion learners worldwide, with more than 28 million learners in the Philippines. Responses like community lockdown and community quarantine of several countries have led students to study at home, which leads to the delivery of online learning platforms. UNESCO 2020 to curb the spread of COVID-19, most governments has opt to employ quarantine protocols and temporarily shut down their educational institutions. As a consequence, more than a billion learners have been affected worldwide. Among this number are over 28 million Filipino learners across academic levels that have stayed at home and comply with Philippine government's quarantine measures. Lack of access to technology or fast. Reliable internet access can prevent students in rural areas and from disadvantaged families. Lack of access to technology or good internet connectivity is an obstacle to continued learning, especially for students from disadvantaged families. In response to school closures caused by COVID-19, universities recommends the use of distance learning programs and open educational applications and platforms that schools and teachers can use to reach learners remotely and limit the disruption of education. For students without internet at home, this increases the difficulty of keeping up with distance learning. Schooling is the most affected aspects of human life due to coronavirus disease 2019 COVID-19 pandemic. Since the rise and spread of the pandemic, many countries around the world have decided to temporarily close schools that have affected millions of students. Consequently, students are mostly having been facing a learning crisis due to the pandemic.
Chapter 3 Methodology. This study aims to determine or investigate the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the academic performance and computer laboratory of IT students in Isabela State University, Kawayan campus. We will conduct it by the help of quantitative research. Research design. The quantitative research method was used in order to find or to describe the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the academic performance and computer laboratory of IT students. Respondents of the study. The respondents will be the IT students in Isabela State University, Kawayan Campus. Data gathering tools. The gathered data were analyzed and computed by a statistician. The statistical treatment were done using the following statistical tools. First, frequency count and percentage were used to describe the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the academic performance and computer laboratory of IT student, and it shown by the formula percentage F divide N is equals to 100, where percentage number of frequency data gathered, number of respondents. Weighted mean was used to summarize the data to the problem impact encountered by respondents, where simulation of all responses of respondents who total number of respondents of the study. Data gathering procedures. We will gather data or information to this study by using questionnaire. We will distribute this to our questionnaire to the instructor professor of the student and let them distribute it to the respondent. Statistical treatment. Responses to the questionnaire by the information technology student. All some sections were statistically analyzed with the data requirements for the study. Descriptive statistics such as frequency count, mean, percent, and rank are considered.